advantage of exercising my absolute
right. I don't want to give any names.
My absolute right. I am not obliged to give you any details under any search power.
Welcome to CopCore Network, where we expose misconduct, examine police and legal matters, protect rights, and demand accountability. Today's body cam footage is brought to us by Crime Bodge. Be sure to check the link below. Subscribe to his channel and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, Alan Norman steps out of shop when officers suddenly come barging in, blocking his path and accusing him of giving them dirty looks. That petty excuse quickly escalates into a baseless allegation of shoplifting. And without a shred of genuine evidence, they search him under Section 1 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984, commonly known as PACE. But Alan doesn't back down. With the help of Crime Bodge, who takes up his case, he wins a substantial payout from the City of London Police. Yet despite that legal victory, the case takes a heartbreaking turn that makes this one of the most powerful episodes we've ever covered.
Okay, let's put it this way.
Put it any way you like.
You've been giving us evils as you walk past our van. You've got into Boots.
Yeah.
You're feeling about with a lot of stuff and coming out again.
I don't know what you're talking about evil.
Why are you being so cagey?
Am I obliged to answer your questions?
The fact is, you're very cagey right from the start, mate. And
Listen,
the fact that
don't give me a police nonsense.
All right, okay.
Cagey. What grounds can I...
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah? What power and authority are you acting under at this time?
I'm going to search you on the Section 1 of PACE.
What are your grounds? Hold on.
Buddy, I told you, listen to me.
On what grounds?
Okay, listen.
You tell me what grounds.
Okay. If you
tell me what grounds.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
I'm going to search you.
You are
on the
depriving
Section 1
me
of
of my
PACE.
liberty and freedom. Article 5 of the European Convention of Human Rights.
We're going to handcuff you for a minute.
For what reason? Hey, what grounds?
Give me a second.
What grounds?
Just give us a second.
I want grounds.
Listen, we'll explain all that in a second. So at this moment in time, you're going
Hey,
listen,
relax. Oi,
listen,
you relax. You
relax.
Sir, just listen to me.
Yeah,
right?
I'm listening.
Okay. So at this moment, you've been detained for the purpose of the search.
On what grounds?
And that's what we're going to
If you give me a chance, I'll explain it.
So
you should have explained it before you did this.
Stopping a man simply because he supposedly gave officers dirty looks or appeared suspicious is an astonishingly weak foundation on which to detain and search someone. These are not reasonable grounds under any legal standard. They are personal feelings dressed up as suspicion. If that's all it takes, then anyone walking around with a neutral or annoyed expression is suddenly fair game. That's not policing. That's profiling. Even worse, when Alan demands to know the legal grounds of the search, as he is absolutely entitled to do, the officers dismiss his request, saying they'll tell him in a moment. That's not merely poor practice. It's a breach of the PACE codes of practice. Officers are required to explain their grounds before a search is carried out. Delaying that step removes the only safeguard the public has to determine whether a search is justified or completely arbitrary.
Okay, just bear with us, because we want to explain that to you.
Right.
So let my colleague explain what he needs to explain.
Okay.
However, it's really important that you don't interrupt him and let him finish.
I'm going to let him finish.
But one thing I just want to add
is
at this moment in time, you're obviously detained. Well, explain why you're detained.
You should have done that before. No.
Human
rights, it's very clear.
Can I explain something to you? We're entitled and able to say you are detained for the purpose of search.
Under
which
what
is
grounds?
what we've done, and that's what we're about to explain.
Okay, tell me.
Okay.
Don't use any cagey nonsense.
I'm not going to say cagey.
I will remind you.
Be quiet for a minute, I'll explain it.
And obviously we've used force temporarily due to your demeanour. And you've got handcuffs on you, okay? Until the search is completed,
right, well, I don't
you're free to leave.
I do not consent
I appreciate that.
to any searches or seizures.
Oh,
it does, because you have no grounds here.
Unfortunately, you don't have to. Okay? Right.
Thank you.
My colleagues to explain everything.
Right, are you filming this?
Yes.
Right, well, I'll be doing an excess
I completely understand. And you're entitled to do that.
I will do that.
After handcuffing Alan, the officer attempts to justify the use of force by pointing to his demeanor. That's not a legal justification. It's a subjective excuse to escalate the situation. Alan wasn't resisting, threatening anyone or behaving violently. He was vocal, yes, but vocal because his rights were being blatantly violated. Passionately defending yourself when faced with an unlawful stop does not make you a threat. It makes you informed. It's deeply troubling when officers mistake frustration for aggression. The officer effectively punished Alan for reacting emotionally to a completely unjust encounter, as though the only acceptable response to being wrongly detained is silent compliance. That mindset reverses the burden entirely. Instead of officers being held accountable for justifying their actions, it becomes a citizen who is expected to remain calm while their rights are trampled.
my colleagues will explain everything
Right,
you need to
okay,
know.
explain it.
All right.
Right, explain it.
So we see you come past the van, as I said.
Right, thank you. I'm coming down the road, minding my business.
Yeah, listen, let me explain.
Yeah.
Giving us evils, you're going to the shop.
What's evils anyway?
Listen,
Can you go to the CPS with I was giving him evils?
you can actually.
Can you?
Yeah.
And what would that amount
Do you want to
to?
let me explain the grounds then?
Carry on.
Okay. You go into the shop, you see him fiddling around.
Fiddling around.
Yeah.
I went in there for to do my business.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm telling
in
you
there
from my,
every day.
I'm telling you from my point of view, fella.
I don't
all
want
right?
your point of view unless it adds up
My
to
point of
grounds.
view is very,
Gives
very
you the
important.
authority to detain me.
Can I explain to me? Okay.
You seem to be the sensible one here.
We're both very sensible.
Okay.
My colleague is a
You
very
don't
good
told me.
officer,
You
right?
don't need to do that.
So first of all, do you mind if I grab a first name from you?
Like I said, I won't be providing any
all right.
details.
So-
there is no
so-
search
so-
outside Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act that gives me the authority, or you the authority, to ask me
But listen,
to give
you're
you
asking a lot of questions. I'm trying my best to
Right,
answer
okay,
them,
okay.
right?
Allen clearly stated at the beginning of the encounter that he was not going to provide his details, a right he was fully entitled to exercise, particularly when no lawful grounds had been established. Yet we see the officer circle back and ask again, as though the initial refusal never happened. This isn't merely redundant, it's tactical. Repeating the demand for identification, especially after an unlawful detention, is a form of pressure. The hope is that by repeatedly asking the question, the individual might eventually crack or comply out of frustration or confusion. It also exposes something deeper. The officer either failed to listen to what Allen had said, which is careless and unprofessional during a detention, or he did hear him and deliberately ignored it in order to push the interaction further. Either way, it speaks volumes about the way some officers treat power as permission rather than responsibility.
If we reasonably suspect somebody
Yeah.
is committing an offence or
On
anything
what
in relation
grounds, sir?
to certain
Reasonable grounds.
So as my colleague trying to explain to you, we have detained for the purpose of search. The grounds are in which, when you've walked down this road, you have been eyeballing our vehicle, you've been staring at us, and in our opinion, you seem to be paying a lot of attention to
Sir,
police.
your opinion doesn't add up.
When you've
Can
gone
you
into
send
the
your
shop,
opinion
like I said, I'm
to
going
the
to continue
CPS?
talking. When you've gone into the shop, again, you've appeared
Yeah.
to be very... You're sort of
Appeared.
wandering around,
Yeah.
and almost as if you're potentially up to no good.
I was putting this on.
and that's fair
I
enough.
walked in without
That's
it.
fair enough. I'm talking about our perception.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
So that's one of the grounds why we stopped you.
You don't have grounds.
You've come out after looking slightly suspicious, and we perhaps thought, are you shoplifting? We're not
yeah.
sure.
Feelings and
so
thoughts.
again, our suspicions are up here.
Yeah.
We've come and spoke to you.
Suspicion
You've
means-
been very anti-police. You're not
Okay,
willing
no,
to engage.
no. What I've done is
Okay?
I've
You've
exercised
immediately
my
been difficult.
absolute
You
right.
don't want to give any names.
My
and
absolute
you've
right.
asked us
I am
basically
not
to go
obliged to
away,
give you
okay?
any details
So that's the grounds
under
to which
any
you've been
search
stopped.
power
Okay, so the
outside
objective of
Schedule
us
7
searching you
of the
was
Terrorism
quite
Act.
simply to see if you've got anything on you that might
To see.
do with shoplifting,
So we got feelings
stealing,
and
or
just
if you
let's
take
have a
anything
look.
with you to commit a theft, all right?
The officer claims Allen was fidgeting inside the shop and somehow turns that into a possible shoplifting attempt. But Allen immediately clarifies that he was simply putting on his mask. That explanation alone should have been enough to dismiss any suspicion, particularly during a period when mask wearing had become entirely normalized. But rather than accept a reasonable explanation, the officer relies on perception instead of facts, saying, "From our perception, it could be shoplifting." That's a dangerous path, turning vague, non-criminal behavior into a justification for detention based entirely on assumption. The law does not give officers the freedom to act on gut instinct alone. Reasonable suspicion under Section 1 of PACE requires objective grounds, not speculative possibilities. Fidgeting is not a crime. Wearing a mask is not a crime. And walking into a shop while doing either is nowhere near shoplifting.
So this is PC 360
Okay, listen, so you don't have to hold that hard. You don't have to do it.
because of your mannerism.
Right, just relax.
I'm relaxed.
My mannerism.
He's
This is an unlawful detention by a Section 5 of
and you've been stopped
Human
and searched under
Rights
Section 1
Act.
of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act.
You've got no grounds. You
I've
have
just given
no
you the grounds, but you're trying to
You
argue,
gave me
okay?
your
Okay,
feelings.
again, I'm
We're gonna
reiterate your
Good.
detained,
Good.
all right?
You gave me your feelings, that's all.
Yeah, so can I speak to one of you a minute?
Yeah.
You gave me your feelings and that was all. Who's the OIC
can you,
here? Oi, are you the OIC? Are you the OIC
Search
here?
him. Can you hold that?
Sergeant, thank you. Maybe get some reason here. Sir, I'm being detained without grounds. and I'm being searched without grounds, except his feelings and his thoughts. And via the Human Rights Act, Section 5, this is an unlawful detention.
Have the officers given you the details of why?
They gave me their grounds. He gave me his feelings and he gave me his thoughts. I didn't give any grounds.
We have given grounds.
He gave me his feelings.
Listen, I'm going to do you a little favour. It's all on body worn anyway.
Right, good. I'll be getting that access information request.
Listen, maybe if you ask the officer to repeat them, they'll repeat them for you.
Okay, well, let's have it in. Can you repeat it before you carry on?
Put this back in your pocket first?
Because,
sir, I am being detained unlawfully. My human right is being contravened here. Section 5. Not section, Article 5.
Article 5, yeah.
Yeah, okay, Article.
I understand all of what you're saying, but let the officer explain again.
Okay, are you listening?
I'm listening.
Sergeant, because I'm relying on you to be impartial here.
I'm listening.
Right, fine. Can you give me your...
Can I put these back in your pocket first?
You can do. It's up to you.
Right.
Okay, lady, you can relax, okay? You can relax. I'm not running anywhere. I'm not farting. There's about how many of you? You can relax. You can relax.
I am relaxed.
No, you are not. Anyone filming this?
We're filming it, don't worry.
In search, I didn't hear the ground.
No, can you give him the grounds?
I have said.
He hasn't got on.
Are you going to listen to me?
While you're shouting at me, I can't hear a thing. So maybe let him repeat his grounds.
What? Can you repeat them?
Yes. We see
Let
you.
him say the whole thing and don't interfere.
I'll say nothing.
Okay. You're not listening, are you? You're talking
Right,
to me.
okay,
I'm listening,
all right, okay.
You've appeared to be concealing yourself in the shop whilst you appear to be filling about with things, okay? We've come over to have a chat with you, and straight away you've been very, very anti, trying to get a word, not letting us get a word in edgeways. You're extremely nervous. Your breathing rate's up there. Okay? We think we've got something to hide.
Right.
Okay, we suspect you might have been involved in something in the shop, and therefore we're searching on the Section 1 page for any stolen items.
Right,
okay?
The second the sergeant steps in and asks for grounds to be repeated, the officer conveniently drops the entire excuse that Alan was giving them dirty looks. Why? Because even he knows how absurd that sounds in front of a senior officer. Suddenly, he relies on shaky behavioral indicators, such as fidgeting and rapid breathing, try and create a picture of suspicion that simply doesn't exist. Let's be clear, having an elevated heart rate, especially when you're being confronted and detained by police despite doing nothing wrong, is entirely normal. It's not grounds for suspicion. It's human nature. The fact that the officer tailored his justification in front of the sergeant, omitting the dirty looks allegation altogether, demonstrates that he was never confident in that explanation to begin with. It was a weak attempt to assert authority, and now he's trying to tidy it up to save face.
I was fiddling around in the shop, and I am nervous. I am neither excitable nor am I highly strung. There is no grounds here at all, none.
Can I take his cuffs off now?
You can do.
Okay.
You should have taken them off 5 minutes ago.
Well, not while you're behaving the way you are.
Listen, sir, I am being denied my liberty and freedom, my right to locomotion, because this lot have had a little feeling in their tummy that something went on. For the record, I will not be providing any details.
Okay, well, you haven't got to. No one's asked you to.
Oh, he did, and he did.
They've asked you for them and you've refused them, and that's fine.
Well, why would they ask me when it's going to say on your ticket that you're going to give me that I'm not obliged to?
Well, we can't give you anything because we don't know who to give it to.
You just searched me, you just detained me. I want a slip.
Listen. Bishopsgate Police Station, which is where we're from. You can go to Bishopsgate Police and there will be a record made of it. However, we can't. You're not giving us any details, so we can't send you anything, can we?
No, sir, it says on the slip, I'm not obliged to provide any details.
Not. But if you want us to give you some details of it, we can't give them to you. We can't do it right now.
Right.
Listen, so you can come to the police station, give us a day or so to get them all on the system, then you can come and collect a copy.
Sure.
You can say the date, time, place.
Right.
Constable Minnervy.
Right, I've got his number, and you.
Right,
and you. I've got it, don't worry, I've got a photographic memory. And you.
So, I'm telling you, Bishopsgate Police Station, my colleague will give you the address.
I'm taking your details, you're the OIC here.
Well, I'm the sergeant, I'm not IC. I've not had anything to do with this search as such, because I wasn't here for when the grounds were given. It's repeated. I've come over because you seem quite excitable, and I just wanted
so let's not, let's not start splitting hairs with terms. I know them.
You're not going to
pay close attention to all your codes of practice. I know.
Good, okay, well, you haven't repeated any of them yet. So
well, what one do you want to know? Section 1? Yeah. Stolen or prohibited articles, 1984, revised in 2015.
What do you know?
But you have to have grounds.
Yeah,
you have to have known.
The officer gave you
He gave me his feelings. And he gave me grounds.
What are grounds based on?
Facts, information, intelligence.
What he has seen.
That's not what he said.
What did you say?
Well, what did he say? Tell
I
me.
told you what I saw.
Oh, you're talking nonsense. All right, listen. Am I being detained?
No, you're
I'm
You're free to go. See you later.
Thank you. I'm being detained. Excuse me, please. No nonsense.
All right. Okay. Well, again, this
Yeah, thank you anyway.
Just confirm nothing's actually been taken.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Information access request. I'll be taking civil action against you and you.
All right.
Alan Norman stood his ground in the face of unlawful policing, knowing that his rights had been violated and vowing to hold the officers accountable. And he did. The City of London Police ultimately admitted fault, stating that the stop and search was not objectively reasonable and issuing an unreserved apology. Alan won his case and was awarded £8,500 in compensation, a clear admission that the officers had got it wrong. But the real tragedy is that Alan did not live to see justice fully served. Before receiving his compensation, he sadly passed away following a heart attack. His fight was never just about money. It was about principle. And although the apology came too late for him, his determination left a lasting legacy, exposing yet another case of unacceptable abuse of power. This episode highlights one of the most disturbing abuses of authority we have ever seen. Alan Norman simply walked out of shop and was suddenly surrounded by officers claiming he had been giving them dirty looks, an embarrassingly vague allegation that triggered a chain of rights violations. Instead of relying on reasonable suspicion, officers depended on weak justifications, such as Alan fidgeting in a shop, walking quickly, or breathing heavily. All things that anyone might do when being cornered by police without cause. Alan rightly challenged them at every stage, calmly asking for lawful grounds. But they could not provide any. They handcuffed him anyway, escalating a baseless situation into a humiliating ordeal. The City of London Police were ultimately forced to accept the truth. The stop and search had no legal basis. In an official apology, they acknowledged that the officers' actions were not objectively reasonable, a rare and significant admission. Alan was awarded £8,500 in compensation, a public acknowledgement that his rights had been trampled. But tragically, he passed away from a heart attack before receiving that payment. His case became more than just a personal victory. It became a stark reminder of the emotional toll that these encounters can have. Alan Norman was an auditor. He was an ordinary man with a strong sense of justice. He was treated unfairly, yet remained dignified in his resistance. He stood firm, stayed principled, and pursued justice until the very end. His story deserves to be remembered, not merely for compensation, but for the strength and composure he displayed in the face of injustice. Rest in peace, Alan. Your stand mattered, and your voice will not be forgotten. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue my independent coverage. Also, don't forget to check out Crime Bodge. His channel is linked in the description, so show him some support. Thanks for watching. This was Cop Core Network, and I'll see you in the next one.